They knew it would kill people. February 1997. A memo circulates inside Purdue Pharma headquarters. The subject line reads, "Patient addiction concerns." Inside, a medical director writes 9 words that should have stopped everything. Quote, "This drug has significant abuse potential we must address." He was right. Over the next 20 years, OxyContin would kill more than 500,000 Americans. More than the entire Vietnam War. More than car accidents. More than gun violence. And the people who made it knew from day one. This isn't speculation. This is documented fact. Internal emails prove executives discussed addiction rates at launch. Sales reps reported patients crushing pills to get high. Doctors called the company hotline begging them to stop. But Purdue didn't stop. They doubled down. They created the most aggressive pharmaceutical marketing campaign in history. They told doctors OxyContin was less addictive than other opioids. They said the risk was less than 1%. Both were lies. And they had the data proving it. The memo from 1997 wasn't the only warning. There were dozens. From scientists. From pharmacists. From their own sales force. Every single warning was buried. Filed away. Marked confidential. While the body count climbed into the hundreds of thousands. This is the story of how they did it. Purdue Pharma wasn't always a villain. Founded in 1892, it spent a century making basic medicines. Laxatives. Ear drops. Nothing controversial. Then in 1952, 3 brothers bought the company. Arthur, Mortimer, and Raymond Sackler. Doctors themselves. They saw an opportunity in pain management. By the 1980s, chronic pain was everywhere. Back injuries. Arthritis. Cancer. Millions suffered with limited options. Existing painkillers were either weak or highly addictive. Purdue wanted to crack the code. Their scientists worked on a time-release formula. The idea was simple. Wrap oxycodone in a special coating. Release it slowly over 12 hours. Patients get steady pain relief. No highs. No addiction. In theory. They called it OxyContin. The FDA approved it in December 1995. But here's what nobody talks about. The FDA approval came with almost no abuse testing. Purdue submitted studies on only 133 patients. For a drug that would reach millions. And those studies lasted just days. Not months. Not years. Days. One FDA reviewer later admitted they were completely unprepared. Quote, "We had no idea what we were approving." But Purdue knew exactly what they had. Internal documents show executives calling OxyContin a blockbuster. Projected sales hit billion within 5 years. They were conservative. By 2000, OxyContin generated $0.1 billion annually. By 2010, over billion. The Sackler family became worth $3 billion. But that memo from February 1997 was already circulating. The one about significant abuse potential. So what did Purdue do? They hired an army of sales reps, over 600 people. More than any drug company had ever deployed for one product. These reps got a special bonus structure. The more pills doctors prescribed, the bigger their paycheck. One rep made $40,000 in a single year. Selling glorified heroin. And they were given a script. A pitch that would change American medicine forever. The pitch was brilliant. And completely false. Sales reps told doctors OxyContin was revolutionary. They said the time-release formula prevented addiction. They cited a statistic, less than 1% of patients get hooked. Doctors believed them. Why wouldn't they? These were pharmaceutical professionals with official training. But that 1% statistic was a lie. It came from a 5-sentence letter published in 1980. Not a study. A letter. Written about hospital patients on short-term morphine. Not chronic pain patients on long-term oxycodone. Completely different. But Purdue sales reps cited it over 2,000 times in doctor visits. And it worked. Prescriptions exploded. In 1996, doctors wrote 300,000 OxyContin prescriptions. By 2002, over 6 million. A 2,000% increase in 6 years. But here's what nobody outside Purdue knew. Patients were already getting addicted. By 1999, reports flooded into Purdue headquarters. A woman in Ohio took 67 pills in one day. A teenager in Virginia crushed and snorted it at a party. Died instantly. Emergency rooms across Appalachia saw overdoses triple. Purdue's own data showed 117 deaths linked to OxyContin by the year 2000. Did they pull the drug? Issue warnings? Stop the sales force? No. They blamed the patients. Internal emails show executives calling addicts criminals, drug seekers, abusers. One executive wrote, "These people would abuse anything. Our product isn't the problem." But their own sales data told a different story. Regions with the most aggressive sales reps had the highest addiction rates. Small towns in Kentucky got flooded with pills. One pharmacy in a town of 400 people dispensed 9 million doses in 2 years. That's 22,500 pills per person, including babies. This wasn't medicine. This was drug trafficking with a prescription pad. And the sales reps knew it. One rep later testified she watched doctors prescribe OxyContin to obvious addicts. People who came in monthly begging for higher doses. She reported it to her manager. His response? Quote, "Those are our best customers. Push them harder." Stories like this don't stay buried by accident. Subscribe so the next investigation finds you. By 2003, the DEA started investigating. Federal agents reviewed Purdue's internal documents. What they found was damning. Emails showed executives knew about abuse in specific zip codes. They had maps, charts, data showing exactly where addiction was worst. And instead of stopping sales in those areas, they increased them. They called it aggressive market penetration. One executive literally wrote, "We need to hammer these high-abuse areas. They're gold mines." But that wasn't the worst part. What came next was even more disturbing. Purdue knew patients were crushing the pills. The time-release coating was a joke. Anyone could scrape it off with a knife. Crush the pill into powder. Snort it or inject it. Instant high. As powerful as heroin. Cheaper than heroin. Legal with a prescription. By 2001, Purdue scientists had developed a crush-resistant formula. It made the pill nearly impossible to abuse. They ran tests. It worked. They could have switched every prescription immediately. Saved thousands of lives overnight. But they didn't release it until 2010. 9 years later. Why? Internal documents reveal the answer. Executives worried a crush-resistant formula would admit the original was dangerous. It would expose them to lawsuits. Destroy their market position. So they sat on it. While 200,000 more Americans died. That's not an estimate. That's the documented death toll between 2001 and 2010 from OxyContin specifically. 200,000 human beings. Dead because Purdue protected profits over people. But the truly shocking truth goes even deeper. The Sackler family wasn't just passive owners. They were actively involved. Richard Sackler became president in 1999. Emails show he personally pushed sales strategies. He told reps to blame addicts for their addiction. He wanted OxyContin prescribed for minor pain, headaches, twisted ankles, dental work. He wrote in one email, "We must hammer on abusers in every way possible. They are the culprits and the problem." Meanwhile, he personally made $0 million from OxyContin sales. His family members sat on the board. They approved marketing budgets. They reviewed sales data showing overdose clusters. And they voted to continue exactly as planned. By 2007, the federal government had enough evidence. The Department of Justice charged Purdue with criminal misbranding. 3 executives pled guilty. The company paid $34 million in fines. It sounds like justice. But it wasn't. Not even close. That $34 million was less than 3 months of revenue. A rounding error. None of the executives went to jail. They got misdemeanor charges, paid small personal fines, kept their wealth, kept their jobs, and OxyContin kept selling. In fact, sales increased after the conviction. Doctors assumed the